Welcome back to The Red Threads, a student led podcast focused on raising awareness about blood cancers by sharing real stories and meaningful conversations with patients, family, healthcare professionals, and advocates. Through this podcast, we hope to better understand the realities of blood cancer beyond the medical facts by listening to personal experiences and amplifying voices that deserve to be heard. My name is Tu, and today I'll be your host. I'm joined by my co host.
Hi, my name is Veda.
And my name is Avani.
For today's episode, we are honored to join by Olga Kim, a mother whose family is currently navigating a leukemia diagnosis after her son was recently diagnosed. Olga has generously agreed to share her family's experience, offering a powerful perspective on what it's like to face blood cancer from a parent's point of view. Her story highlights the emotional, practical, and human side of a diagnosis that impact the entire family, not just patients. Olga, thank you so much for trusting us with your story and for being here with us today. And to begin with, could you tell us a little bit about yourself and your family for our listeners?
We are a family of four. We are in Texas. So my husband, me, my daughter, and my son, who is 7 years old, and he was diagnosed with leukemia 3.5 months ago. Before we were kind of, normal family, like schools, activities, traveling, etc. I would say we didn't come into, we didn't were prepared to this or expecting this. Um, yeah, and the childhood cancer like changed unexpectedly changed our life and routine and everything for every member in our family. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that.
Understanding your family is such a great start, and I want to shift a bit to help our listeners understand leukemia itself. So, for people who may not know much about leukemia, what do you wish people understood about this type of cancer?
Um, when I'm thinking about that, the first answer is that leukemia has no stages. Because when we realized that is happening, like I didn't think about stages, but when my friends learn about that, like realized that my son has leukemia, one of my friend was asking what stage is that, and it was hurting for me because I feel so mm, so hard to find the answer. I do not have enough capacity, especially during the first months, to explain everybody what is that, and this is not really kind of correct question. And I didn't want to educate people about the leukemia. I understand that he meant well. He was like trying to support me, but this question make me feel so stressed that I just, even though it's a good friend and we are friends for like 20 years probably, we're living in different countries now, etc. But he was asking, and I feel so frustrated that I didn't even answer. So first of all, leukemia do not have stages like other cancer have, and um, I don't know it's disease of the blood and bone marrow, and it's affect the because of its blood diseases affect the whole body. Also, there are different types of leukemia, and depends on that. Uh, the treatment is different. In our case, it's AML, myeloid leukemia, and it means that the treatment is extremely hard. For now, it's mm, a little bit more than 100 days since we were diagnosed, and we about 80% of this time we spend in the hospital because the treatment is so strong that ANC, like immune system, is just going down. NC is zero, and we should stay in the hospital until it started to grow back. Like for us, it's 4 weeks in the hospital, 1 week in home, and then come back to the next chemo. Also, I would like people to learn that it's maybe uh, not the way it is when it looks from outside. Yeah, and try to be more careful about the things that you're telling the family who has leukemia. Yeah. And nowadays, I guess, like we have Google, we have, AI, GPT, and etc. So if you want to learn more, you can get basic things from there. And after this, be very conscious about the question you're asking or the comments you're giving to your friends and or people who are into this disease. Yeah.
So with that being said about awareness, sometimes signs can be subtle. So do you think that there were any early signs or symptoms that more parents should be aware of?
Yeah, in our case, my son for me, like 2 weeks before he was diagnosed, I feel like something is different. Because he was a little fatigued from time to time. He was not so active like usual. He lost his appetite and started to be more picky. He has less energy, and he has an older sister, and they are, siblings. They are fighting from time to time, so he is became more less interesting in this and like, okay. And I would say like parents should trusting the intuition that we have. Like I felt that something is wrong. We even went to urgent care because he said, "Oh, my back is hurting," and we checked everything and it was fine. Like the doctor said, it's probably kind of muscle. Then he said my leg is like he started a little bit even lumping, and we were thinking this is from his back because he's doing martial arts like 3-4 times a week. And we were thinking there's probably kind of thing happening there, but not too serious because he was looking kind of normal, but a little bit something was different. Like it's small changes that you are like nowadays it can happen with every kid, but when you can collect these and this, like several of them, and we noticed bruises. He's active boy, and he was active boy, and he had bruises, like he doing bicycle martial arts. But then I realized that they are bigger and they are like deeper and looked more dark, scary, like and the recovering from them became longer. And my trigger was when he fell from the stairs, and it was October, so we have a couple pumpkins down there, and his hip was like from like uh, kind of fall on this pumpkin, and then he said, "Oh, Mama, is kind of thing here," and I opened his hip, and it was like the bruises starting to showing up in front of me, like in several seconds, and it was big and really purple, even dark blue color. And I said, okay, we're gonna go to the doctor. And when we were there, she, because when it happened, I started to collect all the symptoms back. Because before they were kind of separated in my mind, and when I realized they are all together, um, I'm like, something is wrong. It's more like just, just hurting his back or something. And when we came to the doctor, she checked everything. She asked me, and I tell her the same story that I'm sharing with you now. And she's like, okay, it's better to do, you can choose, like, do blood work here, or she said, like, I'm gonna send you to emergency room. And she said, like, in your case, I strongly recommend you to go to the emergency room. We went there, and they ran some blood work and said it looks like kind of something with immune system, but they was not sure is that kind of cancer or something else. And they admitted us to the hospital. And first time in the hospital, they said that they we're gonna stay there for a couple days to run more tests, and realized, and then we stayed there for 4 weeks and started our first chemo, because a couple hours later they already find out there are leukemia cells in his blood. We do not even do the bone marrow test, so the leukemia was already seen in the blood, not in the bone marrow. Yeah. Yeah, I just would like to say to parents that if you feel something, just go and check, do the blood work. Yeah.
Thank you for pointing that out.
Mhm.
Thank you for sharing that story. So, what has helped your family stay strong during such challenging time?
Um, that's this is also interesting question, because from my point of view, you should not be strong all the time. Like, you have to give yourself sometimes to be like some, sports hours to be weak, to let yourself to cry it out, to talk with your therapist, your friends. But the most important thing is trying to do, like, step by step. You don't have to be anxious and think about, like, far future, because we are not like, you cannot be sure about the future. Like, doing little steps. Personally, you know, I'm professional coach, and I work with people as a life coach. I would say what helped me personally is focusing on things that depends on me, that I can control. Because when it's happening, you understand you are not controlling this. And focusing sometimes on my own needs, on my own routine, like uh, walk every day, doing kind of sport for me is really helpful, to go outside, to have at least 30-minute walk a day without any phone, or like without any distracting things. Like, make sure your nervous system is going down, and at that time you are can be a little bit out of the situation. Like, for 30 minutes at least, you can be just you without any other roles, not a cancer mom, like just breathing. I also would like to say that as a family, my husband is a huge support for myself, and he's caring about all, responsibilities, like financial responsibilities, about their like main strong big things that are happening, planning, and etc. And I mostly do the stuff with the small things. Routine is very important as well, and we are trying to keep it for all members of our family. I would say also from my point of view, therapy. As a coach, I have to have my own supervisor and therapist as well. But I started to do additional, like with a cancer focusing therapist. Um, like we're trying to save our traditions, like even though we're in hospital, we are doing, for example, family movie night on Fridays. And even in a hospital, we're gathering all together, like have some kind of food and watching the movie all together. Um, yeah, so routine, supporting each other, and nature, sport. And I also would say, besides therapy, it's very important to have supportive friends. Um, for example, my close friends are offering their to help to care about my older daughter, to take her from school, to have play dates. Some other friends bring us food or little presents or just something like for ourselves. For me personally, like my friend bring me, you know, some kind of cosmetic or patches so I can take care about myself when I'm in hospital. Yeah, there is little things that help to understand that uh, you still staying, you're still human, and you still need to take care about yourself in the first place. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. Our next question for you, going through something like this, it often changes how you see the bigger picture. So, how has this journey influenced your view on raising awareness for childhood cancer?
I would say it showed me that still a lot of misunderstanding and around the childhood cancer. And as for me personally, I almost didn't know anything about uh, childhood cancer uh, before my son was diagnosed. Um, I would say awareness is not just a statistic. It's very important to let people know about that, and because it could happen with every family. Uh, and um, key point, I would say it's important to sharing stories. So that's why I started to share my own story in social media, where you girls can find me as well. Um, and it also helps to, reduce fear and stress, and probably that's kind of isolation. So I I do not feel like we are alone in this journey, because so many other parents, moms connect with me, and they were sharing their stories, and it is so important. And um so many people, like unknown people, are trying to help while in the house we are in a hospital. Like several organizations are doing little things. Like on Fridays, they bringing lunches for parents who caregivers, or they because we stay in a hospital like 3 weeks, 4 weeks in the December. We were discharged right before Christmas, but the whole Christmas season we were in the hospital, and there were so many events that were organized for kids. So he can decorate a little Christmas tree and do kind of craft, and one of organization even do kind of Christmas shopping. It was sponsored by HEB, I guess, and we get a card, and he was collecting presents for his sister, for mom and dad, and wrapping it all together. And then we luckily we were just start the day before Christmas, and he bring it home, put under the Christmas tree, and it was nice. And I mean, the awareness, I guess, the awareness is helping um, organizations to collect more money and to get more help, to get more volunteers and other people who would like to donate. That's why it's very important, because it's hard to be ready, and like in a short amount of time you should learn so many information about that. That is so it's blowing my mind, because you have to change your everything and you have to learn at the same time, and it's complicated. Yeah, but when you or other people um, will know more about this type of cancer, it's my help.
And speaking of awareness, how do you feel that community awareness about leukemia and childhood cancers overall has impacted you personally?
I think it's about early recognition. Um, if I knew about blood cancer more, probably from like 2 weeks ago, I would push um, our pediatrician to run blood tests, because I was thinking something is wrong, but I was not sure what. And I like, okay, maybe it's like, you know, the age and next step of growing. Uh, but if I were thinking that before, like so many symptoms were collected, probably we will diagnose earlier, and it's gonna be easier to make the treatment. Um, I would also say it's better support, more compassion. It helps parents to um, do kind of practical support. I don't know, maybe it helped to research, because my son has leukemia that is not as rare, like his type. At the other type, the partner gene is very rare, and we also signed up several documents and let his blood and bone marrow send this for researchers, because we are included in some kind of research. And I know that it's not helping like us personally or my son, but it's for sure will help other people who will, diagnose later, or who will, I mean, this kind of disease. And also like blood transfusion is kind of routine for us as well. And if you have an appetite, if people will have more awareness about the blood cancer or childhood blood cancer, might be more people will donate their blood to banks or even bone marrow, because we are now in a process to preparing for bone marrow transfusion after 3 chemo rounds and kind of breach we're gonna have, so almost four chemo rounds, and we are preparing for bone marrow transfusion. And this is also important to donate if you can, your blood, your bone marrow, so it can save lives. So awareness also helps with that, I guess. And also it helps families feel less invisible, and like, less, it will help families feel less alone when since we are staying in the hospital for like most of the time, I can see other parents, like kind of fresh diagnosed parents. Uh, they look so lost. Uh, and I remember when I was there like 3.5 months ago, and I also, when it just happened, when I make a post in my social media, I got so many messages from other cancer parents who remembered their first time. And this is probably kind of the hardest time in the beginning because you're shocked. You didn't expect this. And you have to, twist your life, the life of the whole family. And you have to learn how to live in this new circumstances that you have. So other people who know about this, about the blood cancer, or who were there, it can help, it support, physically, mentally. Yeah, I think it's important.
Thank you so much for that. And as we finish, what's one message you'd like our listeners to walk away with after hearing your story?
I don't know. Childhood cancer can happen to any family. I wish it not, but it could. And I think that compassion truly matters. Yeah, and probably just trying to be kind to people around you, because you never know what are happening behind. It's related not only about the childhood cancer, but other things that are happening in people's lives, and people do not look like something is behind the scene, but we all have to be kind to each other.
All right, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today and for sharing your story. Your insights and experiences help our listeners understand childhood leukemia and the importance of community awareness. We truly appreciate you being part of our podcast and contributing to this ongoing conversation about blood cancers. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity, and thank you for reaching me out. And I wish you, um, to do your projects and your studying on a good stage. So I'm always glad to help you to do the things that you're doing, and thank you for doing that for us, for the community, for for everyone. Thank you so much.